Hello and welcome back. So in this video we will be learning about the lists in Python. So you might be thinking, what is a list basically? So list is a collection of items in a particular order. So if you have some programming knowledge in JavaScript, you might be familiar with arrays. So in Python, the arrays in JavaScript which we had is called as a list. Okay, so the list will contain some sort of like the data in a particular order. All right, so yeah, let's get started and let's see how we can create a list. So suppose I am creating a list based on the computer brands. So brands equals to, so I am just creating a variable, and then what we have to do, we have to open square brackets, and inside that we can write anything. So anything in the sense is you can write strings or numbers. Here you can write booleans as well. So any data type which is a valid data type in Python, you can write that here. And you can make some of the dictionaries as well. When we will be learning about the dictionaries, we will go through this topic once again to understand a bit more, because it is very, very important. So what we can do, we can just open up single quotes or double quotes. I like to use double quotes, and then HP, okay, and then Lenovo, and what else, Dell, and then what we have, Asus, right? So these are our computer brands, and if I now print the computer brands right now and hit save, and let's print this out. Yeah, see, this is printing as it is, and the double quotes are being replaced by the single quotes, which is fine, no issues on that, but it is a valid syntax which we have written. Okay, so now you might be thinking, okay, where is the order? I told you in the definition of the list is a collection of items in a particular order. So when you create a list in Python, automatically the items which we have inside the list is assigned to a particular index. So, and the index, please remember that the index of the list will be starting at 0, not 1. Okay, so if we do something like this, open up square brackets once again, and then write 0 and save, and if we do run the program, right now we are just getting HP. So you might be thinking this syntax is quite familiar with the strings which we have studied before, right? So in the strings as well, we can access the characters by this syntax, like opening up the square brackets and then passing a number according to the like the character or the item which we want to extract. So yeah, that is basically it. This is quite simple. So list is a data structure basically, where the data has a particular order. Okay, now we have accessed the data. You can do like 0. So for the HP, I can just write a simple comment. So the index of the HP will be 0, Lenovo will be 1, and then Dell will be 2, and then Asus will be 3. Okay, so now you can just use something like 2, and it should return us the Dell, right, which it does. Awesome. So this is basically how we access the particular item in a list, right? So this is good. Also, you can use some of the methods as well if you know the data type of the item of the list. So here we have the strings only. So what we can do, we can just do title, which we have seen in the string section. So if we save that and if we run the program, so this is the D is now capitalized, which is good. So you can use anything which you are using with the strings. If you have some sort of numbers here, you can do that as well, and that number will be associated with a particular index, and you can just access the number as well, and you can just do some of the stuff like the plus, minus, multiplication, division, etc. So that is the thing, and please remember that what is important is the index of the list starts with 0. Okay, now let's move on. Again, you might be thinking, okay, now what will happen if I do something like this, -1 here? Again, if we run this program, we are getting the last item. So this is quite similar with the strings as well. If we have some string in the variable, and if we do pass the -1 in the square brackets, we will get the last character of the string, and here we are getting the last item from the list. Okay, so this is quite similar. Okay, now what we can do, we can modify the data as well. So how we are able to do that, let's see. So suppose if I comment this print statement, and then now we can do the computer brands, and we can access the 0th item, and we can just replace that with something else. Let's say gigabyte, something like that. Now if we do computer brands, we have to print that. We are not in some sort of interactive shell. Print, and then we can just do something like that, computer brands. And now if we save and run the program, now the gigabyte is the first one. Okay, so yeah, this is something which you have to keep in mind, that the lists are mutable. What do I mean by that? Like, after creating the list, you can change the values of the items inside the list. For some other things like that, in tuples, you cannot change the values after creating a tuple, but in list you can. So which is great and which is nice, because many of the times you might need to change some of the values inside of the list, and you can do that by this syntax. And it is not like confined to the 0. You can pass any index as well, and it will work as expected. So yeah, so this is nice. Now if we go to the other things, now how I just show you how to replace a particular value inside of a list. But suppose you want to add some value. Suppose after ASUS you want to add gigabyte. How you can do that? It is quite simple as well. So computer brands, and we have a method which is called append, and then what we can do, we can just do gigabyte, just like this. Okay, so after doing that, if we run this program, now we have HP, Lenovo, Dell, ASUS, and gigabyte, which is great. And you can do it multiple times as well. So if I do it one more time, what else, what we have, NVIDIA, something like this. I know this is not technically a computer brand, but just for the sake of like demonstrating the things. So now NVIDIA is the part of the list. Okay, now we will insert some elements inside of the list. So if I comment this thing out, and now what we can do is that, so let's see, computer brands, and then insert, and we have to specify in which index we want to insert a particular value and what is the value. So in the, like, suppose we can do in the 0th index, the value will be gigabyte once again. So if I do that and clear up the console a bit and run the program, now gigabyte is inserted in the beginning, right? Before, if we do the append, all of the, like, the elements will be inserted at the end of the list. But if we use the insert method, which is a bit more flexible, so you can insert in any index. So if I do 2 or 1, something like that, and if I run this program once again, so now it is the, like, one index of the list is not Lenovo anymore, it is gigabyte here, right? So you can do that. Now the next stuff will be how to delete some elements from the list. So yeah, let's do that. I'll comment this thing out once again, and now suppose this is our list and you want to delete the HP. How you can do that? We can do it by simply writing del for delete, and what we want to delete, we want to delete the computer brands list, but not the total list. We want to delete only the first index, which is the 0th index, right? I know this might be confusing, but we want to delete the first element, which is the 0th index. So if I save that and run the program once again, now we just have Lenovo, Dell, and Asus. Okay. Now there is another method to, like, remove the things. We had the append, right? That appends this value at the end of the list. We can do something similar with the remove as well. We can just delete the last element. And how we can do that? We can do by creating something like this, like we can use the pop method. So how we can do that? We can create a variable like popped brands, and then okay, this is not like the correct spelling, but yeah, so we can do pp. Okay, there we go. Now we can do like the computer brands, and we can do pop just like this, and we have to call that. Okay, now if I run this program, now the computer brands only contain HP, Lenovo, and Dell. But see, I have created this new variable. Let's find out what it contains, right? So popped brands, and now if we just run this program once again, see, so not only this pop method removes the last element, but also it returns that particular element which it removes. So suppose you might need the last element from a list in your program, so you can use the pop method which will return that particular element as well after it removes that element from the list. Okay, so let's move on. Now you might be thinking, okay, this pop method is cool, but can we just only remove the last element? What if we want to remove this one, the Lenovo? How we can do that? We can do it pretty simply. So if we do something, what is the index of the like the Lenovo? it is 1 in our list, right? So we can pass here 1, and if we save the program and then if we run the program once again, now Lenovo is popped from the list, right? So which is very nice. So you can just enter the index of a particular element in the list and it will be removed from the list. Also you will get that particular element in the variable if you use the pop method. Okay, but if you use that del method, you will not be able to do that. And also I recommend personally, do not use this method, do not use that. I'm just showing you, it is better to know, but do not use this syntax or this method. Whenever possible, you use the pop method, which is very convenient, as well as it will be much more simpler for you to understand. Okay, now what if you do not have the access to the index of the particular list item? What if you do not know, hey, what will be the index of the Lenovo? How you can remove that one, which is quite simple as well. So I'll comment this thing out and I'll comment this one out as well. Now you want to remove a particular element, but you do not know the index of that particular element in the list. So you can use one other method, which is called the remove method. So I can do computer brands dot remove, and then I can pass the particular value which I want to remove, which in our case is Lenovo. Okay, just saving that, and if we run this program, okay, so Lenovo is being removed from our list, right? So in this way you can just remove a single element which we want to remove from the list. Okay, now we can see that our list is not sorted. Okay, so in JavaScript it is a bit tricky to sort the list properly, but in Python it is quite easy. So if you want to sort all of the brands in the alphabetical order, you can do that. How you can do that? You have the method which is called sort. So computer brands dot sort. If I do that, and then if I run this program, now ASUS is first, Dell is the second, HP is the third, and Lenovo is the last element, because it is sorted alphabetically. So the sort method is kind of cool. And now what if you want to sort the list in the reverse alphabetical order? How you can do that? It is quite simple. We have a argument which is called reverse equals to true. If we pass this one, now if we run this program, now our list is sorted in the reverse order. So Lenovo is the first, HP is the second, Dell is the third, and ASUS is the last element. And whenever I am telling you hey, this is the first element, you have to remember that the index of that first element is 0, not 1. Okay, this might be a bit confusing at the first, but yeah. Suppose you do not want to sort your the list permanently. You just want to sort your list once, and you want to send the original list as well. So how you can do that? You can do that by a method which is called sorted. So we can do print, and then we can do sorted. There we go, and we can pass the computer brands. Okay, now if we save and run this program, now the first line is sorted because of this sorted function, but in the second lines we are not modifying the original list, right? But if we do something like this, like the computer brands dot sort, then it is modifying the like this array or this list. Okay, so if you do not want to do that, then you can use the sorted method as well. So suppose there is a requirement that you want to print this list, right, in the reverse order. So you don't want to sort them, you don't want to do any crazy stuff, but you just want to print them in the reverse order. That is, the Asus will be on the 0th element, then the Dell will be the first, the Lenovo will be the second, and the HP will be the last. How you can do that? So if we run this program right now, so computer brands will be printed. There we go. And after this thing, I can just copy that, and after one print statement, we can do computer brands dot reverse, not remove, reverse. There we go. And if we save that, run the program, and now the computer brands, it is printing as it is in the first line, but in the second line it is reversed. But please keep that in mind that after we do the reverse, that computer brands list is completely changed. So this reverse method which we have, it is changing the original list itself. Okay, now, which is nice, it might be helpful in some ways. Now suppose you want to count the number of elements which you have in the list. Okay, so we have 1 2 3 4 elements here, but if your list is like 1 million elements long, then what you will do? So we have a method in Python which is called the len. So what we can do, basically we can print the len, and then we can pass the list, so computer brands. Okay, and if we run this program, there we go, we have 4 elements in our list. Okay, just want to give you some pitfall while working with the list. Sometimes you might enter something wrong in the list while accessing the elements. What do I mean by that? Just commenting that out, and then if I do something like 100, something like this, and if I run this program, then we have an error. Okay, list index out of range. So whenever you are seeing this sort of things, okay, this message, you are like aware of, okay, so what I am passing here isn't available to the list, so this is not a valid index. So whenever you are encountering something like this, some error like this, index error, so you are now capable of debugging the problem, like what is the problem and how you are able to solve that, right? Okay, just wanted to give you some insights. Okay, I believe that is it for this video. This is the basic introduction to the list data structure in Python. And in the next video, what we'll do, we will go through some of the more advanced stuff with regarding to the list, and we will learn about those. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to this channel and leave a like and comment, all that good stuff. And let's catch up in the next one.